Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Now, I'm going to do something a little different. I am going to speculate on which versions of DC characters are in the MCU or going to be in the MCU, because they literally name dropped Superman and Batman in at least 2 Marvel movies and Scooby-Doo, or at least in one Marvel movie, and the other they name dropped 2 they've been name dropping some DC characters, so in the MCU. So let's speculate which versions of these DC characters are in the MCU. And yes, probably Bat Dad does exist in all of these MCU, DCEU multiverse. So I'm not going to put him in this, but so okay, starting off with Batman. Okay, let's start with the Justice League characters or team members. I'm going to speculate and say that given the context that the MCU has, I'm going to say in the MCU continuity, I'm going to say it takes place in the Batman 89 continuity. Maybe. Also, in the same universe, for the fun of it, I'm going to say that Richard Donner's Superman also exists in this universe, or this MCU. But not only that, but Wonder Woman, not Gal Gadot's version of Wonder Woman, but another version of Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, because as far as we know, Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 84 take place within a pretty reasonable time gap. So, for example, there could be Superwoman, who is related to the Rich Donner's Superman, also existing in the MCU. And but that also begs the question, which version of Martian Manhunter are we seeing in the MCU? Because as far as I know, it could either be the DCEU version, or it could be a different version that we have never seen before. So, who really knows which Martian Manhunter exists? Also, which version of the Green Lantern did we see, or have we seen, that might possibly exist in the MCU? And honestly, nobody really knows at this point. Heck, I don't even know. But all I can honestly say is that's as far as I know which versions of those characters we might have seen or have not seen. Like Wonder Woman. A version of Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman we possibly have known about or have seen or not have seen. Anything is possible. Hawkman, Hawkgirl, we do not know which versions exist in the MCU. Martian Manhunter, we don't know which version of the Martian Manhunter we have seen, but same can be said for all the others. It's like Batman, Superman, Supergirl, Supergirl. We also do not know which version of Supergirl is in the MCU, but we can speculate and theorize. My speculation and theory could be wrong, but I say it's the one who's related to the Richard Donner Superman. So I think we should be good there. Now, although Superman Returns isn't technically although Superman is kind of like a reboot, kind of sequel, Superman 3 and 4 are canon to the Richard Donner Superman. So which that makes, I would say it takes place in theory, in my theory, I would place the MCU in either DC Earth 1996, which would probably make sense. Also, maybe, just maybe, which brings me to 90s Flash. Okay, that brings me to 90s Flash. So, John Wesley's ship, Flash, variant is Barry Allen, played by Grant Gustin, or Grant Gustin. I believe it's Grant Gustin. Which I like that. I like the modern day Flash, but it's died down. The thing is just. Anyways, okay, so I'm going to place 90s John Wesley ship Flash version in the MCU because honestly it kind of makes sense to me. At least to me it makes sense. But anything is really possible. Now, could the 80s Flash, could the 80s movie based on that's kind of a continuation of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe series also take place in the MCU? Absolutely. I think that does balance out. I think that seems pretty accurate, at least to me. Now, your favorite dog, my favorite dog, everybody's favorite dog, Scooby-Doo. Which version can we place in the MCU? Could it be the 02, 04 Scooby-Doo? Or could it be the various versions of Scooby-Doo that we might have seen? Honestly, if it was up to me, which it isn't, but this theory is kind of up to me, I would say the 02 Scooby-Doo I would place in the MCU because, one, Matthew Lillard as Shaggy makes more sense to me to be in the MCU than anything else that Scooby-Doo has been put out in recent years. And Katniss Everdeen. I have not once seen a single Hunger Games movie. I have never read the books. But one of my friends in my hometown, Dallas Sumsky, which I hope she's watching because I would love to catch up with her and see what she's doing. She has read all the Hunger Games books, and I think she's seen the Hunger Games movies. I could be wrong, but I have not. I don't like Jennifer Lawrence. That's just my preference. And honestly, in my opinion, she was the worst Mystique I have ever seen. That was just poor casting on that part. Just saying. I mean, we should have just given the original actress the entire franchise at this point. But hey, I'm not an X-Men writer. I wasn't an X-Men writer, although I am a huge X-Men fan. I just don't prefer Jennifer Lawrence in the X-Men. But hey, that's just me. Anyways, getting back to topic. So that's what I speculate. That's who I would like to speculate and theorize who is in the MCU with Scooby-Doo is that. But getting back to Katniss Everdeen, as in Hawkeye episode 2, Hawkeye, aka Ronin, retired Ronin, aka retired Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner, is like, that's not me, that's Katniss Everdeen. Which makes Katniss Everdeen and the Hunger Games canon. Now, I don't know which version of Katniss Everdeen really exists in the MCU, but honestly, I would say it is not played by Jennifer Lawrence. It is probably played by someone who was the original Mystique. That's who I would say played Katniss Everdeen. Now, could the events of that movie be earlier or later? Any event is possible. Because as far as we know, absolute points can be altered and changed all so slightly. And same thing can be said about movies and movie properties and franchises and whatnot. And which version of we're going to see X-Men. We're going to see the X-Men. That's awesome. I am excited. But also, which version of Lucifer exists in the MCU? Because honestly, quite honestly, we do not know which version of Lucifer, the devil himself, exists. Could it be the Sabrina version? Could it be a cartoon version? Could it be the actual devil himself? Or the actual Lucifer that is just walking the earth? Or could it be a combination of both? Nobody really knows. But here's where we can speculate and have fun with this theory. I'm going to say it could be the actual thing we've heard or seen from the Bible, and we're not, just speculating here. But here's another beautiful thing. In Shang-Chi, we get portals and realms and whatnot. But what if, just what if, those same portals and realms are in the earth, like in the center of the earth? Not a universe, but a world or a city put in or placed in the center of the earth. I think that makes sense. Also, sorry, don't mind the banging. It's just people doing the house. They're mad frigging annoying. Anyways, I honestly don't know which version of which I'm going to speculate on who is truly in the MCU. Because, there's a lot of things you have to take into consideration when putting these DC characters into the MCU canon based off of what we have gotten in previous movies, TV spots, trailers, and all that other good stuff. So it could be a variation of the two. Plus, Crisis on Infinite Earths, happened, and we don't know what the outcome of that truly is either. And Thanos, we just don't really truly know at this point. So that's all I have for you guys so far. Please like, share, subscribe, and have a good day. Thanks. Bye.